sip on my, we'll call this tea.
Yo,
What's going on, Ray? How you doing?
hey, how you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
I know, yeah.
Yo,
Spider-Man.
I
Can
love
you
your
hear me?
background. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I was trying to make it see the little where'd it go? The little flashback
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's my latest Amazon edition. Amazon deal edition.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
No, okay. I got you. No, that's dope. I really appreciate like a collage background. For those people that have seen Liner Notes, the podcast, that whole back wall is just
I've
rich
seen it.
with collage, modge
Yeah.
podge. So yeah, no, I
And
really dig that.
I've seen it. This is a collection of I appreciate it. Thank you. I've seen your background as well. I dig your background a lot for sure. The one that you use for the interviews.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
in your house, right?
Yeah, it's upstairs. I had to move. I had to move my office downstairs because there's a child up there, and after like 8:30, you're not really trying to do no work and make noise. So
I feel that. Yeah. I live in an apartment building, so I feel that too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get that. Yeah. I got a soundproof, so but these are collections of not collections, but I've painted them through the years. So this one right here is the most recent one.
Oh wow, the green
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's you can't really see it. I guess the lighting isn't the best, but I did that like 2021.
Well, that's even more impressive that you actually painted all of those because mine are posters.
Yeah, honestly, I love creating, oh, see the caps back there too. I'll have
Yeah, hi.
I'll have this this weekend actually at the events that
Nice.
will be at. So you're at the Here Mixer on Sunday for Music Week, and then Friday. It's coming up real quick.
Everything is coming up so fast.
Yeah, it really is.
Everything is coming up so fast. But at first, I wanted to ask you more. Like, how long have you been painting? Because I didn't, I guess, really know that was a thing.
That was a thing.
Yeah.
I'm not the best at putting myself out there with that kind of stuff. I really got to get better about like just marketing in general. I guess that's what you would call it.
We all got to do that.
Yeah, it's just hard. We've talked about this, I think, in passing. It's just like, between this and that and the third. But yeah, I love painting. It was something that I grew up, it wasn't really for fun that I did it. I guess it was more like, well, it was fun, but it's more for like expression, or like, I didn't grow up talking about my feelings a lot or like just, conversing or in the household, so I would paint about it. I would write about it. I'd, maybe write a song about it, play the guitar about it, that type of thing. So that probably started when I was, the painting probably like 12, 13. But I will share with you, let me tell you a story that I've not talked about in a long time. I'll talk about it here, I guess, because why not? But so I actually, how I started to paint someone in general is I started to paint the walls in my bedroom. My parents hated the shit out of it. But it was just like, I just picked up some paint like that we would pick up at Lowe's or something cheap. And I started scribbling. Then my mom called me crazy, and other people have been like, "Oh, that's amazing! You know how to put my child in here, there." But not everyone has the tools to deal with a child, I guess, that's creative. And I didn't know that I was doing art therapy, I guess, at that time too. So
Sure.
I was probably like 12, 13, but painting like with any kind of intention like that, probably like when I was 16, 17. And I'm now 30, I'm turning 35 this year. So do the math. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know the math, but that's how long. Yeah.
I'm not gonna attempt the math either, but looking good for 35.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. I get carded all the time.
Yeah.
So this Colleen. You do too. You look great.
Well, thank you. You just spread the
A
love.
generation, I feel like, just everybody looks great.
Yeah, if you look back at like the 80s, the people that were like mid 30s in the 80s looked like they're 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they had a lot of more other shit to go through. Like it was just a different generation. I feel like everybody has. We went through a pandemic. That also, I feel like, aged some things. Some people,
Yeah.
I mean, some people got grouchier.
That's true.
Others, I guess, aged like fine wine, I guess, too.
Maybe,
So to make it
maybe,
lyrical.
maybe like the lead in the water materialized and making people look older in the 80s, and now the microplastics in our
There
bodies
you
are
go.
making us look.
Yeah, maybe
No,
something is evolving. Maybe we're mutating or something.
we
Yeah,
have
I
no
don't know
idea.
you.
I have no
But
idea.
yeah, no, I honestly, I will agree with you because a lot of people I meet in their 30s, they look great nowadays. So,
Well,
and my mom I thought looked great, my dad looked great, but yeah, you're talking about like 80s, 90s, or like 80s or older. Yeah, for
is
sure.
it
Yeah.
as simple as sunblock education? Sunblock education?
Maybe, honestly, my fiance Colleen, you know her, you remember her. She's really big on it, but she's also a redhead, so it's different for her. She gets burned real easy.
It's
Um,
very serious.
yeah, like she turns into a lobster. My cat's trying to get out. Hang on, let me show you actually, because I think she's about to do it. My cat likes to open the door
Oh,
for herself.
yo, cat tricks. Let's go.
So she's right there,
Okay, push it.
and she's been pawing at that for a hot minute. And I thought she may try to open it, but now that she's on camera, she may not do it.
Oh, don't be shy. I mean, you didn't ask, so
Yeah, no, I didn't even, I didn't even say, hey, let me get you on camera.
yeah.
But if she does it and I happen to catch it, I'll show it to you.
Okay, word. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned something earlier, and I want to spin back to it because you mentioned the HearRVA Music Mixer and fundraiser that's happening on Sunday this
Yes.
year,
Yeah.
which is August 4th. And it's kind of cool because I think you're the only maybe one or two people or vendors that have been involved with all three of the music mixer and fundraisers that we've done.
Oh, snap. Wow.
So I didn't realize that until today. We double checked it. But yeah, so one, thank you
You
for
got
being
to send me those stats because thank you, honestly for having me. I really that's important to know for me. I love that. I love that. I love being part of it. I love what y'all are doing. So thank you for including me in it.
you're welcome. And thank you again. So yeah, we got to get you like a gold jacket or something like they do with SNL for like the
Yo, yes, I am down. Tell me what you need from me. I'm 100% down. I'm dead ass serious. That sounds
cool.
dope. Yeah.
No, that's super
The
special that
sneakers
you've
to
been.
match too.
What's that?
The sneakers to match.
We'll see what's in the budget. Well, I'll
Okay.
talk to some people.
All right.
Yeah, I'll talk to some people.
Let me see. Let me know if you need sponsorship. Maybe I can help.
Yeah, yes, I will talk to you about that. And that's going to spin into a later question I have for you. But pertaining to the music mixers and fundraisers, each year we've picked an organization that we would like to kind of raise funds for, and I think we've done a pretty good job. But this year we've chosen the Newland Music Prize, which is specifically a prize for musicians in the city of Richmond. What's your knowledge of the Newland Music Prize, and how do you feel like?
I met and I'm forgetting his name right now.
Doug.
Yes, Doug. I met him last year actually at your music mixer for sure. I met him there. He was there with the auricular.
The auricular,
Yeah. I got a chance to talk to him. It was very fast because the event was about to start and like the music got going. He had to run to his booth. But very cool people, honestly, I thought it was dope. I know he works with a lot of volunteers, which I think we need more of. But I think it's really dope what they're doing. They're raising how much did they contribute, or how much had they contributed towards musicianship in Richmond?
Please don't quote me on this when you guys fact check, but I think it was $2,500 or something like that, or no, 12,500.
I saw
it was a big It's a big number, but
20 something.
Essentially, he was able to raise enough money to not only pay the people for this current year's short list and prize money, but he was able to then go back and pay the previous 2 years winners and short list people that didn't get as much of a cash prize because, as you start something, funds aren't as much. So,
I feel that's dope.
Yeah, so he was able to go back and back pay all that, which is tight.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I mean, honestly, he started to say and tell me what he was doing, what they were doing. And I know he was there. Am I wrong? Am I remembering wrong? He's with another organization too, right?
Yeah, Doug's all over the place.
I thought so. Yeah. Well, not all over the place, but like, I mean, like, I know that he was with other places. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's, yeah, we were on the
he's a
same page.
busy
Yeah.
person. He's got his hands
Yeah, yeah,
everywhere. Yeah,
yeah. Just to clarify, because people be,
that's true.
let me let this cat out. Eli, you want to come with me? Is that okay?
Let's
Come with
go.
me.
I will sit tight or I will go. Either way. I'm just
What's up, y'all?
really.
Yeah. She said, "What's up, everybody?" Let me
What's
let
up?
her out real quick. My bad.
Once
You gonna do your thing? Go ahead. Go on,
once
bro.
she once
Get
she
it.
gets out the room, we're gonna talk about how disappointed I am that she didn't open the
Yeah.
door.
She tried it. She did it one time. I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't want to interrupt when you were in the middle of a sentence. And she tried it. She jumped and she did it very quick.
All right.
I have to get Colleen to vouch for me because you're gonna think I'm crazy or
Okay.
something because people don't believe that kind of stuff.
Just send me a video of it later, and I'll put it in the edit of this YouTube that I do when we put it up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you can
Okay.
catch it, that's cool. Because I don't want you to seem like a like you're
Like a
just making
liar,
stuff
yo.
up. Yeah,
Straight up.
I
No,
didn't want to say it.
I'm serious. No, I'm dead ass serious. Please, like that is my biggest worry. I feel that. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Um, but you've been attending the HearRVA Music Mixer not as just yourself, the musician, which again I want to talk about that in a moment. But
Yeah.
you've been there with your organization, Music Culture RVA,
Yeah.
which is and you're going to explain it better than I do, so please kind of give people a brief synopsis. But it is a way for people to kind of connect their artistry, their creativeness, and their professional lives, and you're trying to kind of help people develop that. But please tell the people like what you do with Music Cultura.
Yeah. So I mean, you got it right on the money, yo. We do a little bit of everything, really, as far as career development and then like talent development for people. So it can be a combination of two, where, we can do, maybe somebody is a great singer and they really want to get into singing, maybe in a more like long-term professional kind of type thing, and they want to maybe like find out how can they make it sustainable type thing, but they need to pay their bills, so they, as an artist, you get out there and it's not possible to just hit the ground running, make, $5,000 a month or even more, if some people can do that at the beginning. And people barely want to pay sometimes for art, for live performances sometimes, so that's another topic, I guess, for another day. But altogether, sometimes you got to make it work different kinds of ways. So we, and primarily, like, I'm certified in human resources, which also means, I can help out with career development type stuff. So I try to do specialties like resume revisions for people, for the community. I do them on sliding scale. So people can just pay kind of between a certain range, that they can. And then a lot of the times I'll just kind of meet them where they are, as far as budget goes and stuff. But I do that. And in the past, I've provided small business consulting for, people strategy, that kind of type thing. Maybe people have like benefits they want to roll out to their group of people, payroll stuff, or payroll processing, that kind of type thing. As you already know too, retirement plan, that kind of type thing. Just, a mixture of things. But I've also, on the more talent development side, I've produce some sound for people before too. So like, there's I'm hoping to finish, it's been in the works for a few years, with Whitney, with she goes by Lil Wit in Richmond. She's a spoken word artist who I'm encouraging to get out a lot more. But she's doing a spoken word EP. So hopefully we'll finish that. But I do that kind of thing. I produce that for her. And then I also sell my art, my artware. So, I have a lot of, I design things just like I paint things. I have my stickers over here to the side. I'll show them to you, but you've seen
Yeah,
them, and I do
yeah,
like,
yeah.
just like, juxtapose stickers. I love that kind of stuff. Like I have a little burger that says, I love pizza, but it's a burger.
Your
Uh,
hats are trippy. The white
oh,
hats with the
yeah, you
they're
see them over
trippy,
here?
yo.
I
Yeah,
appreciate it. I love that. I love the cartoon style, like
very
that's my
trippy.
thing.
Yo, but let me ask you, is there something that you hear a lot from artists that come to you for help with resumes or
Yeah.
any kind of development, what's like something that you tell people all the time that seems obvious to you, but maybe people aren't thinking about, or ways that they can present themselves,
Get themselves
professionally in
out there.
settings? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of the time they don't really realize that they can put something down as like a professional thing, or that they can do something professionally, you know? So like, they'll, a lot of people are artists, who maybe like are already even performing in small venues, maybe at like, their friend's barbershop who opened up, or, their friend who sells drinks through their LLC, and things like that,
Right.
it's just people who did not think of themselves as either professional business owners, or like independent contractor type people, freelancers, and or artists. That's really what I see a lot more of, is the combination of the two. Is that a lot of people didn't think that they could combine, maybe like someone is really creative about the way they go about doing business. I mean, you could be really creative about doing business. I mean, I see you do it too. It's just like, you and I, there's a lot of people that do it as well for themselves. Like I think Ant also works for himself too. Like a lot of these people work for themselves. So doing that professionally and figuring out like, how can they don't know how to do it sustainably.
Mm-hmm.
So, they don't know how to maybe like whole place for the two of those things while they're trying to transition to just maybe doing it full time, and kind of having a more realistic approach to what they want to do, that kind of type thing. So that's where I come in and I say, well, let's see what you got. Let's see what skills you actually have to work with. Let's see what we can do, and where you want to go. And then I'm real with people. I try to be as real as possible. I try to say, well, that's reaching for the stars, or like, you're out here like a way at the bottom of the ocean, and you're reaching like for the start. We can try for sure. I will do my best, but I'll just be realistic with people,
Sure. Through the
Um,
growth process and everything.
yeah, and then try to fill in the gaps too, So try to help them come up with a plan on how to realistically do something, for themselves. Such as maybe start working for themselves, or maybe, maybe they've been trying to work for themselves for a little while, and they decided that they need a part-time gig or a full-time gig for the benefits or for whatever else, that type of thing.
How did, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
go ahead.
cut you off.
Go ahead, please. I was just going. Go
Um,
ahead.
how did you, I guess, music and HR stuff
Yeah.
are very different
Opposite.
things. They're not, I wouldn't say opposite, but they're not the same, right?
Yeah, no, I feel that. Yeah.
So how did you, I guess, was it you bumping up against your own hurdles as a musician that then told you these skills would be necessary and other people might find them? Or where did the desire to like
How did
spread
they come
was,
about?
yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I think I've always been a musician. I've always been an artist, and then in my culture, I'm Latin. I'm from Guatemala, 502, but also 804, 804. I'll talk about my relationship with the 804 if you want later.
Yes, please.
But yeah, so how did I come about it? So I've always been a musician, throughout all my life, and an artist. So it hasn't even been a question of that, but it's just been that I just did not do it professionally, or I had not practiced enough, polished enough to be able to do it sustainably, professionally, because people like to see that. They like to see what they think is professional, which is, being on time, being reliable, being consistent, all these things, right? That you just have to come up with a word for it. And that's why we call it this, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
But so, in my culture, these arts are not really seen as something sustainable that you can do for a living. So I really had to think about this. I was like, why didn't I go to school for music? Why didn't I go to school? Because I actually did not go to school for music, but I did study the violin for a long time, and a little bit of like music theory.
Okay.
So that was kind of always part of my life throughout like high school, middle school, that kind of type thing. Music was. And then a combination of like, my culture just being like, no, it's great that you do music, but do it through the church, do it for the community, do it for, the fundraisers, do it for this, do it for that, but it was everything other than do it for yourself to make some money and pay the bills. And so that was something that came about like later. um but it was something that just kind of aligned that way, so I always got kind of drawn into. I went to VCU for a little bit, and then I had to unfortunately drop out, which can be, it'll be another story. I guess one day I'll have to write something about it and document all this stuff somewhere, right? A vlog or
Or
something, or a
just do a
book,
podcast,
or yeah, there you go. It's probably easier to talk about
Yeah.
it too, than write it. So, takes time, effort. I'm too lazy sometimes, or not enough focus, I guess. There's too many things going
Too
on,
many
I guess.
revisions when you write it out. Audio, you're like, it's kind of what it is.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you can't edit it. It is what it is. Maybe that's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so I just kind of I got drawn into the teller world, like bank teller world.
Okay.
And then that kind of drew me into the financial world. And then that drew me to another job that ended me in payroll in finances about like a decade ago. Well, all while I was doing my music for myself and all of these things. And then about a decade ago, about 10 years ago, that sounds like a long ass time, when I say 10 years versus decade, yo. Um, but, about that long ago,
A tenth
I
of a
started,
century ago.
shit, fuck, old. But also it's a blessing, it's complicated, just
Yeah.
like life, yeah. But so I got drawn kind of into finances because I had to pay the bills. I had to leave my house with my parents. They found out I was queer, another whole side story. Things blew up in my community. I had to leave that. I unfortunately, but has brought a lot of light to me as well. Went through a period of experiencing houselessness. And so, all of these things just kind of like led to me just kind of having to take care of the bills, like the bills became my main focus. And so when there's no space when you're in survival, there's very little space to kind of do things that you don't really view as like, profitable, right? Like something
Yeah.
you can do, you can make money off of, so I just kind of focused on career was like what did make me money at the time, and I was good at it. I just happened to be good at it. So I got into payroll and AR, and then payroll led into HR, because the director of the old job I was at was retiring. So anyway, they were like, "Hey, do you want this job?" And I was like, "Oh shit," like, "Yeah, I want this job. What's up? What do I need to
Please.
do?" Yeah, you serious? This is a career type job. How can I get into it? But I got into that, and then little bit by little bit, just started building that. But all while still doing my music. And around that time, I started to do open mics in the city of Richmond, in like the West End and the South Side, and all of that stuff, to try to get myself out there, because I had decided, let me get myself out there. I do miss being around people, being around musicians, being around other people. And open mics bring that, I think, experience, where you can be around other musicians who are also sharing the both the performing and the experience of experiencing it with you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, so, I started in open mics, and then one thing led to another. People started to hear me. I also like started picking up some gigs here and there, for the cheap, like real cheap, like, dirt cheap type stuff.
If
And they were
this
exhausting.
if this was a decade ago, yeah, it was definitely dirt
Yeah,
cheap
they
gigs.
were like dirt cheap, and not until like 3.5 years ago where they like, people just do not want to pay for the art a lot of the times, or
Well,
maybe there isn't even the funds,
they
so
gave you French fries. What do you want?
right, in a drink, or maybe two if you get lucky. Yeah.
What you want?
um
Uh,
Bro, but I'm not gonna lie, I've actually had recently, especially, I've had some really good people treat me right, in some places, and in most places I've played in, so I'm
actually,
really
that's a good you're really good at like kind of transitioning to where I was trying to go
kismet.
anyway.
Yeah. It's just been like, it's been it just feels natural, I
Well,
guess. Yeah. I appreciate, you're a good host, you're a good, interviewer.
Well, thank you. I actually, the other day it dawned on me that I've probably done like 50 interviews now, and I hadn't thought
Shit.
about that before.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right,
Wow.
I definitely learned a few things.
That's a milestone, yo. You gotta be celebrating
Well,
that for sure.
I don't know if it's real or not. I just guesstimated, so I'll have to go back and look at the real number. It's
Yeah,
probably like
okay.
28 or something stupid,
Yeah.
but
No, but it feels, I know what you mean. It feels like, and when you go and do the math, it'll probably be a lot more than you thought too.
yeah, we'll
So,
see.
yeah.
But my point was because you're talking about the city of Richmond and kind of its effect on you as an
Yes.
early artist. So I wanted to pause for a second to let people know that the city of Richmond is dope. And if you want to
Yeah.
know what's going on between August 2nd and the 11th, go to richmondmusicweek.com. We've
Mhm.
got a whole bunch of events listed that are going on, including the HearRVA event, 804 Day, the
Yes.
RVA Pop Out. There's a Velvet Cove and Sophie Collette and Flora show on what is that, the 3rd? I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff
Something
going
like that. Yeah.
but at last check, there was 125 different concerts listed and 284 different performers
Oh,
that
shit.
are listed during that time frame. So go see some music. Tell people to go see some music. Share with people. And if you are an artist, go to richmondmusicweek.com and add your event. It's free. There's a Google form. You just pop that stuff in. Um,
How can I do a reaction here? Let me
oh yeah,
see.
do your thing. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know either. I was trying to find out. How can I do? Can somebody do a fire for me? I can't find a
Somebody
fire.
put a little
Uh,
that joint.
When you do that in post, I guess. Yeah.
Yo,
Is
you
that
know
what you call
what?
it?
Hold on, I got some sound effects here. What do we got? Millionaire. Oh, yeah, I got a
Say
millionaire.
something.
Millionaire. Millionaire.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, that'll work.
Millionaire. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good enough.
all right, we got sidetracked.
Yeah, that's
But I love it. Thank you for dropping the fires, whoever did that. I appreciate it.
Oh, yes, yo. Thank you.
But the city of Richmond and you now have a unique relationship because you are one of the
Yes.
few people that have a mural, a full-fledged size mural in the city of Richmond. Can you kind of tell us how that came about and what that means to you?
Yeah. Honestly, yo, I forget about it from time to time because I mean, I drive by it. It's in Broad Street and I think Altamont. It's on it's Three Notches building, downtown. So they own the building and it's on the side of their kitchen, the big kitchen. So like you can see from the glass door, I think you can see like their big, beautiful, I think it's beautiful. It's their little what is it called? Their KitchenAid mixer thingamabob. It's like a huge, yeah, like you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And then you see that, and then I think it looks really good next to the red on the guitar that is on that mural. I just happen to love it. Not to, I guess that sounds, how it sounds. Fuck it. But yeah, it's out there. And so people sometimes will post and tag me on it, and they'll catch it there and stuff. It was done by Nico Cathcart. Over she's actually local to Richmond, but I think she's Canadian actually. But she's moved to Richmond. She's been in Richmond like forever. So she maybe down the line, I think someone you want to talk to. She's actually very music proximate. She's always partnering up with musicians in the city and
Yeah.
whatnot, so we happened to align. She was looking for models, and she was like, "Hey, yeah, that'd be dope." And so we aligned for the what was it called? It was Leave Your Mark festival at Three Notch. So they were doing an unveiling of graffiti art on like 4 or 5 walls. And it was like all kinds of artists, different styles and stuff. So if people want to go out, y'all should really go out because it is definitely, and if you have not been out there to check out the other graffiti and art in general, on the walls is dope. It's not just mine. There's other pieces there too. So we lined up and she put me up there and I post a couple of pictures and there I am, yo. So yeah.
Yo, for real, and it's not just because I know you, but it's an objectively badass mural. Like it's
You
dope.
made
It
it
looks
look
good.
dope, yo. I appreciate it. Honestly, I was like, it was sunny as fuck, yo, and I cannot see where.
Shades.
Yeah, so I had to throw those on, and I was like, yo, I look how I look. But people who know me, So I think it looks dope.
Yeah.
I think she did a great job. And honestly, if you have not checked her workout, you should check her workout. Nico Cathcart is her name. Maybe I'll send you the info afterwards so
Yeah.
you can like tag it and stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, I definitely am familiar with Nico's work, and
Oh, okay.
we bumped in the same circles. I may have said hello once or twice, but yeah, I don't really know them.
Yeah.
One last thing before I get you out of here, I want to circle back
Yeah.
to Richmond music. Give me a record or an artist that is one of your favorites from Richmond. Something recently you've been digging, just something that's on your mind,
Yeah.
something that's meant something to you.
Right away. I don't even have to think about it. Rebecca Porter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I enjoy Rebecca's music in general. I think and then in general, like Rebecca has a really genuine vibe to her, and just like she's just a real person, she sees you out. I think she's got a kid as well. I think so. I've talked to her very briefly before, but I think if I remember, don't quote me. I like if she does it, my bad, Rebecca. But I thought she has a kid, yeah. And she has a dope ass guitar now, which has inspired I just got a new GS Mini that I'm writing music on. It's a Taylor, so it's my first Taylor. And I had to downsize, and now I'm like, it fits so much better, so the music's coming out more organically. But anyway, she's got a dope ass guitar that inspired my need to customize mine. So yeah, I think, there's so many good musicians, but she, especially right now, without thinking about it for sure, has, I think, inspired me as a person to keep doing my thing, with music, specifically with music. Because she sings acoustic country music.
Yeah, yeah.
But she sings like, country pop, rockish kind of type things. I mean, I think she has more of course, dominant country type songs, what you would categorize as I guess, yeah. But Richmond has a lot to offer, as you already know. So
That that I do know.
it's hard to choose sometimes, but yeah, I play, and I guess just to put it out there, I don't know if you knew this as well, but I do acoustic sets where I live loop everything that I play usually, and
Oh,
I'm
nice.
singing, for up to like 3 hours. I did a 4 hour long fan set one time. That was the longest one, and I'm not sure if I'll do it again. That was a lot, but it was really enjoyable, honestly.
That's wild.
But then yeah, honestly. But then I produce like, a fusion of like EDM and like Latin, pop, lo-fi, R&B type sounds. And a lot of it without vocals. So it's just like instrumentals as well. Um, just because I don't, sometimes I don't have the words, literally. So I'm just like, this sounds good,
You know,
this sounds great. Yeah,
sometimes an instrumental is all you need. That's for sure.
exactly. Yeah.
I did want to mention though, because you mentioned Rebecca Porter,
Yeah.
and we were talking Richmond Music Week. Rebecca Porter has a concert on August 10th that's
Yeah,
going
I saw
down.
that.
It's the Queens of Country with Mackenzie Rourke and Ramona Ramirez. Oh, sorry,
Hey,
Martinez. So yeah,
yeah,
that's gonna be
I
lit.
saw that.
So
Yeah,
yeah, no, but I wanted to say
awesome.
thank you for joining me tonight, Ray.
Yeah, of
It,
course.
it's been really dope to chat with you, to just kind of like let people know what you do, because you have an interesting cross section of artistry and business and
In
you know
life. Yeah,
and
yeah.
life and
So do
and
you, I feel like, somebody needs to interview you, to start for somebody, if somebody hears this out there, somebody interview, where are you being interviewed at somewhere, that we don't know of? Just as a side note, anywhere?
DJ B Rice, who will be my guest tomorrow night here on Instagram Live, interviewed me, and that will air Friday night on his show Mid Atlantic Jams.
Nice. I know
So
Bryce
that's
too,
going
yeah.
on. But I'm not trying to beat up the story. I just like telling people stories. I don't know.
I feel that.
Uh,
No, but I guess as we're talking about concerts as well with Rebecca, I'm not the best about it either, but I do have an upcoming acoustic gig coming up on the 24th of August. If anybody would like to catch it at Hardywood downtown. So if you get a chance to stop by, swing by, or know anyone, I'll be out there, just playing some probably like 2000s R&B, acoustic R&B, fusions, and some originals as well. So yeah, but thank you for having me. Like on it's been a great time,
Yeah.
honestly. And I'm gonna go catch up with the interview from yesterday because I saw it go live, but I missed it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, no
yeah.
problem. And send me the link for that event on the 24th. I'll put that in the
Okay.
description.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's
but
so
but
okay.
but enjoy the rest of your evening. Let the cat do his thing,
Yes.
and have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Again, this is kind of all to promote Richmond Music Week. That is starting August 2nd through the 11th. Which, if you don't know dates, it starts this Friday.
Yes.
And yeah, yeah. And that's going to be 804 Day. It's a big concert down at the 17th Street Market. But there's stuff going on. Like I said earlier, there's, what is it now, 125 concerts
Yeah.
during Richmond Music Week, 47 venues and 284 performers. And I'm sure we'll add more to that list. So
Yeah.
just go to richmondmusicweek.com to find out what's going down, and tip your bartender. I don't know.
Yes. Have a
Yeah.
drink. Be safe.
Have a
Get an
drink, be
Uber.
safe, tip your
Yeah.
bartender. Yeah, all that.
All
Well,
right.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Good
Peace.
talking to you. All right.